What's up YouTube? You're watching Kieran Stevens Fitness. Today I wanted to talk about supplementation for a diabetic bodybuilder. You'd be surprised actually, there isn't much difference between what you can take as a diabetic and what you can't, even though pretty much everyone says, all the labels say don't take this if you're diabetic. Just a word of caution as well. Everything that I recommend here, get checked out by a doctor or a diabetic nurse first. I'm not a trained medical professional, and while this stuff works for me, the last thing I want to do is recommend something for somebody and God forbid something happens. So always check it out with a medical professional first who knows what they're talking about before you do this. Don't just take my word for gospel, okay? So now we move on, get that out of the way. The first thing that pretty much anyone that weight trains need, the most important supplement is big old bag of whey protein. This is a 5 kilo bag. I got it from bodybuildingwarehouse.com. I paid around about in the region of £40–50 for it, which for a 5 kilo bag is pretty cheap. That might seem a lot for an initial investment, but that bag's lasted me 2 months already and there's still about a third of it left. So I could probably get another month or so out of it. So 3 months for 50 quid isn't really that bad at all. That's pretty good for whey protein. Now with whey, because it is fast digesting and that, I do tend to find it does raise my blood sugars a little bit. So you might have to take some insulin with it if you have it post-workout, pre-workout, whatever. Obviously, slight discussion what whey protein does. Whey protein helps your muscles recover and rebuild from training. Your muscles are made of protein. The more protein you have in your diet, the more muscle you can support in your frame. And obviously anyone that bodybuilds wants to build muscle. So having a high protein diet is very important. There are some issues obviously with high protein diets and kidney problems. As a type 1 diabetic anyway, your kidneys might be strained, but I've noticed nothing wrong. I've got blood works done. My kidney function is completely fine. So my recommendation is to start off a little bit and build up. Don't just go into a full crazy high protein diet. Generally, as I've said before in articles and at my Facebook page, how much I'd recommend protein a day is at least 1 gram of protein per pound you weigh in body weight. So at the moment for me, I'm, well, to be pedantic, I'm 183 pounds. That's 183 grams of protein a day, at least, that I'm aiming for. So I'll try and go more, try and hit about 200 or so, but as I said, I've noticed nothing wrong with my kidneys. I get my blood works done regularly anyway, and my kidneys are completely fine. So, moving on as well, another thing that's very important that is quite popular with a lot of people is creatine. Now, this is kind of just a step up from whey protein. You probably want to be training for a while before you do this and be comfortable with your blood sugar control. While it has no impact in your blood sugar control, I highly recommend you get the unflavoured version, just pure creatine powder by itself. The flavoured versions tend to have a lot of artificial sweeteners in that, which can obviously raise your blood sugars. It might not be a problem, you just have to inject for it, but just do be aware that you probably would have to inject if you took it. For this one, 0 calories, 0 carbohydrates, 0 sugars, 100 grams of creatine monohydrate. Don't have to inject for it, brilliant. So what creatine does, creatine is found in your muscles anyway. It's the energy source that your muscles use for explosive movements. So it's a very powerful energy source, but very limited. So you're looking at about 3 to 5, maybe 8 seconds tops that your body will use that energy source for. Which is why you can't train at maximum intensity for long periods of time. So what taking creatine as a supplement does is it increases the amount of creatine found in your muscles, allowing you to train at that kind of volume for a slightly longer percentage of time. Another effect you also get as well is cell volumization. Creatine tends to take water and puts it in, well, in layman terms, creatine takes water from your body, puts it into your muscle cells, gives them volume, swells them out. So that's how you get increased muscular size as well. You'll probably notice a small amount of weight gain due to water retention. So it is important, obviously, just to make sure that you're staying hydrated. In no way at all is this dangerous. Okay, there's a lot of people criticise creatine, or a lot of people that don't know anything about supplements that will criticise creatine. It is not dangerous, it is naturally occurring in the body. It is also naturally occurring in red meat. Taking it as a supplement is just increasing the amount that your body has in it. Again, I get blood works done every so often and they check my creatine levels as well. Even taking a creatine supplement, my creatine levels are still well within a safety range. There is nothing to worry about, okay? Now, last thing that I take, obviously that isn't a sport supplement itself, is some form of multivitamin. I used to work for Holland & Barrett, so I used to get these cheap, so I'm running through my supply of these. These are quite large, these are like horse pills, but they're very, very effective. So obviously what multivitamin does is cover you for your vitamin and mineral needs. You know, if you're eating a bodybuilding diet, there's probably a chance that you might not be getting a wide range of fruits and vegetables, especially if you're following a bro diet. So it's important to get it in that way. Also, when you sweat and when you exercise, a lot of vitamins you lose through sweat in your skin. So it is important, anyone that's doing any form of training that sweats a lot, it's important to get your multivitamins in to keep the levels in your body high. Again, these are all well within a safety range. You know, again, the blood work tests that I've got done, no problem with these at all. On top of that as well, I also take a fish oil. And what fish oil does is it helps with healthy brain, healthy eye function, helps with helping with inflammation in the joints as well. I take it predominantly for the inflammatory effect for the joints and as an eye thing, because as a type 1 diabetic I do notice blood sugars does affect my eyesight. My eyesight isn't as good as it used to be and my vision can get blurry depending on how good my blood sugars are. But since I take a fish oil, my eyesight is a lot better. So it's kind of a training thing, it's also kind of a general health thing, looking after myself as well. On top of that as well, I do take one more thing, which is glutamine. Glutamine is an amino acid. It's naturally found in the body anyway. It is the most abundant amino acid. Basically, amino acids are just what protein is made out of. So it's like the building blocks of protein. What glutamine does is it's a natural inducer of releasing growth hormone in your body. Obviously, when we're talking about here, we're talking about very, very small levels. It's nothing crazy. It's just a supplement. It's not any form of steroid or anything like that. So it does increase your body's production of growth hormone, and any form of amino acid does prevent you from breaking down muscle tissue as fuel when you exercise as well, which is why a lot of people take branched chain amino acids while they're training. I haven't, but purely because of funds at the moment, though I might do in the future. So yeah, that is basically what I take as a diabetic bodybuilder. As I said, you have to make small adjustments for your blood sugars and that. I have checked over a long period of time. I slowly introduced each thing at a time. I didn't introduce 4 or 5 things at a time. I was on the whey protein first for ages, then I introduced the creatine, and then after a couple of months or so I introduced the multivitamin and fish oils. So I can kind of monitor how it affects my blood sugars over a couple of months and then make a decision if I want to add something else or if I want to stop using that supplement. So while I wouldn't suggest playing about with your health and your blood sugars, obviously be aware that sometimes you might have to experiment, try new things, see if they affect you. If they do affect you negatively, stop taking it straight away. So hopefully, you know, people out there will find this knowledge useful. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and ciao for now.